Hi and welcome to Cosmic Consciousness with Cassia. On this channel we discuss all aspects of the Ascension process. I have a variety of services that I offer to assist in your awakening journey, and you can find those listed in the description box below. Today we're going to be doing the daily reading for Sunday, February 14th, 2021. And yes, it is Valentine's Day today for those who celebrate, so a very happy Valentine's Day to you. Today is a day that is guided by heart, so it is a perfect day to be experiencing this holiday, which is all about love. Yes, we can say any holiday has that consumerism piece tied into it, right? However, we break it down to the very essence. And the very essence of this, just like any holiday, truly, in the hearts and minds of those who are celebrating, is about love. So love others today. Express your love for others. Love yourself and express your love for yourself. Nurture yourself. Care for yourself today. And just get into the spirit of that, which is something that we really want to get into the spirit of absolutely every day. Today is also a day that's ruled by the crown chakra, and the galactic signature of today is the white planetary wind energy. And so this white wind energy is all about communication, breath, and spirit. And it's paying attention and noticing all of the different ways that we use the breath. The breath truly is life force energy, right? So when we breathe, we are taking in that spiritual energy, that life force energy, and it is revitalizing all of our cells, every aspect of our being. We can change the way that our mind is functioning and processing when we change our breath. We can change and address all systems of the body by utilizing and working with our breath. So really playing with that energy today, noticing how it is that you're breathing, noticing when it is that you can slow down your breathing, and what effect that has on your nervous system, what effect that has on all of the systems of your body. We need that oxygen, and so we want to really take that in today and be cognizant of that, and cognizant of the spiritual connection to the breath and all the different ways that we can utilize this. This is a great day to practice breath work. If that is something that you're into, look it up on YouTube. There's lots of different instructors that make videos on it. It can be really, really powerful and a really great way to move and release energy as well. Whenever we're utilizing the breath, we are moving and releasing energy. And even when we're speaking and communicating, we are doing that via the breath. And so it is a very important vehicle for spirit. And we want to acknowledge that today. We want to communicate today as well. Today is a day where we're being guided to communicate with each other, to channel that divine spiritual inspiration, and then to communicate our inspiration, our inspired ideas and thoughts and perspectives to other people. And when we have this planetary tone, which is all about perfecting, producing, and manifesting, how do we perfect our manifestations today? Perhaps through communication, through utilizing this beautiful gift that we have to be able to commune with one another, sharing and swapping inspired ideas and perspectives, which can then help to broaden the scope of our own manifestations and our own understandings of the world. Yes, I think that's all we need to really say about that. It says, communicate to convey your truths and create connections. Follow your spirit without hesitation. And then I love this quote by Rumi on the bottom here. It says, for spirit is so near that you can't see it. You can't see it, but you can absolutely feel it. You can't see it because it is you. It is everything, right? It is imbued and interwoven into the very fabric of our reality. Spirit is everywhere, right? And so it's connecting with that today, connecting with our own spiritual essence, connecting with the spiritual essence of others, and just really opening those lines of communication with each other. The affirmation for today is, I perfect in order to communicate, producing breath. I seal the input of spirit with the planetary tone of manifestation. I am guided by the power of heart. Yes. Ooh, I'm actually going to read this for you guys too. It says, white wind days are good for sending and receiving messages. Open your ears and listen out for words from spirit. Pay attention to dreams, for they may be a communication from a higher source. If something draws your attention, look closer at it, for it may be a clue. If someone rings you up just as you were thinking about them, don't just dismiss it as a coincidence. Consider the situation more carefully. Perhaps something they said was important. Spirit is always trying to talk to us. The problem is that we are not great listeners. Listen harder today and you may well hear something interesting. So I like that. And it really is beautiful and perfect with the astrology today that we have still this conjunction with Mercury, Venus, and Jupiter, which is very much facilitating that communication, that communicating from a higher level, that positive, open, honest communication, where really we can be smooth communicators when we have Venus and Mercury conjunct. So it's a really good day to allow our point and our perspective to be known, but to do so in a way, just like yesterday, that really facilitates growth and facilitates us growing closer, right? That kind of communication that can draw us closer instead of further apart. And it's really good that we have that energy going on because we also have the moon today conjunct Chiron in Aries. And so this can be a highly emotional energy sometimes, a little bit of a volatile energy, especially when we also have Mars conjunct true black moon, I do believe. Yeah. So there is that little bit of a feisty, fiery charge to the air. So we want to really draw upon our communication skills and upon all of this beautiful energy that Venus and Jupiter and Mercury together are creating in order to channel our energies appropriately. Today is a day where we may be feeling extremely motivated and inspired. So that is great. We want to draw on that energy. We want to utilize that energy. We want to utilize that Mars energy in order to move forward on things, but we want to do it from a place of healing, not from a place of wounding. So we want to pay attention today in all of our communications, in all of our interactions. Is this coming from a place of healing or a place of wounding? All right, and so let's get right into the cards here and see, what do I want? Oh, interesting. I'm wanting to pull from the, what is this? The Light Seers Tarot, I believe. Clear. All right, so let's get some energy for today. Valentine's Day for some people. February 14th for others. Except for some of my international viewers. I guess for you guys it may be the day before or the day after. But yes, for all intents and purposes, February 14th. What is going on? What's some energy? We have the Wheel coming out as the first card. So this is progress. This is movement. This is blessings, right? And we have the Ace of Swords. So definitely inspiration coming in today. Definitely I'm feeling for people, it's almost like some sort of intuition or some sort of understanding that really helps to facilitate a breakthrough that helps the wheel turn, helps the next phase, the next cycle get underway, that's beautiful, powerful energy coming through there. And then we have the King of Cups. So for some people, this is a heart opening. This is a heart awakening. Some sort of realization or understanding. It's almost like it's an understanding that not just happens in the head, but also happens in the heart. So that energy, when we're talking about moving from the head to the heart, for some people, that is happening. Something is facilitating the intersection of those two aspects of the self and the communication between the head and the heart. Yeah, which is beautiful energy. And my friend Tommy's probably going to laugh when he watches this because he was joking about that just before when I was saying it's a day guided by heart with the crown chakra, which he was saying head and heart. So you were right, Tommy. There you go. Yeah, this bridging of the head and the heart, which helps the cycle, which helps a new cycle be born, right? The Empress, right? A new cycle underway. The wheel is turning. This next phase of the journey is ready to open up because of this understanding, where all of a sudden what was simply cerebral is now felt and experienced in the heart. So that's really, really gorgeous energy. And then it's a whole new cycle. I mean, look at her belly is the world, right? So there's a whole new cycle that's getting ready to be born now out of this understanding. Yeah, and then we have the Devil coming out with the Seven of Pentacles, which is interesting energy. And so this is an energy where we're looking at what we're growing. We're looking at what we're producing and what the effects of that are. And what aspects of our lives, what are we putting our effort into today? And what is it bearing? What kind of fruit is that bearing for us? Are there places where we've been putting in our energy that are maybe not where our energy is best directed? Are we putting our energy into this new cycle and these new things, these new ways of being? Or is there still energy being directed into these old habits and patterns that this devil energy represents? Let's get a little more on the devil here. A little more on the devil. And when we have the Five of Cups coming out with the Six of Pentacles. Yeah, so this is the energy of sort of loss and isolation and longing versus like evenly reciprocated energy. And this is like lack versus abundance is sort of how I'm feeling this energy right now too. So it's like, where is your focus? Is your focus on what you're lacking, or is your focus on what you're creating, what you're gaining, right? Are you in a place of gratitude, or are you in a place of lack? And really paying attention to that and all the ways, because it's like, this is what we're wanting to grow, right? We're not, like the Five of Cups can sometimes be that energy of crying over spilled milk, right? And so we're being asked to look at that. Like, am I looking at what I've lost, or am I grateful for what I still have? Because that's the place where we then build more from. So really seeing and understanding that, and all the different ways that our mind can come in and sometimes like mess us up, right? And then we have strength, right? So this is that energy of the mastery of the mind. So that really coming through. Us really, I feel like for some people too, this is like us making some headway where before this devil energy was sort of blocking us and holding us back. It was enticing us back into old patterns. It was keeping us stuck in old wounds. And now we've really gained the strength to be able to move beyond that energy, move out of this energy and into a more fertile energy, right? Into this energy. And I think for some people, this was part of this head to heart breakthrough that happened for us that really helped to move us out of this energy, because we were maybe stuck in this in one way or another, some repeating cycle, some repeating habit, some repeating pattern. And yes, for a lot of people it had to do with perspective. It had to do with the way that we were looking at things, approaching things and perceiving things, and learning how to look at things, approach things and perceive things from a different angle. And I'm being drawn to the baby lamb there, right? Which reminds me of that fresh newness again. Yeah, and then we have the world. So that's the end of the old cycle. And this is us really being able to step into its completion, right? It's the completion of a journey. And now we're able to embark on that new journey. Now that the old journey has been completed, the new journey can begin. All right, do we want any more cards from this? I guess so. We got the Hermit. We got the Hanged Man. We got the Page of Swords and the Six of Swords with the Hierophant on the bottom of the deck. Okay, you guys. So this is a spiritual awakening, a major spiritual awakening for certain. But there may be, this is like the timeout, right? The ultimate timeout energy right here. And we have the Hanged Man with the Hermit, right? But when we combine, so it's like taking that time to reflect, taking that time to really go inside and to receive those messages. Like, I always think of this as like messages and light codes from Spirit here, the way what she's playing with there. And so it's taking that time, but then it's like really having that awakening. And notice how there's this beautiful light surrounding them, right? And this beautiful light here, that's that illumination coming through. This illumination, right? This illumination. And so really just in that period of having a complete, especially when you have the Page of Swords, which is all about learning, investigating. And then that's coming out with the Six of Swords, which is moving on to calmer waters. And this is, again, a mental, right? A mental energy, as would be the Page of Swords. So it's really that massive shift in perspective as a result of, for many, doing some deep soul searching. Pulling their energy back just enough to really be able to learn what's going on inside of ourselves. And then really having this huge shift in perspective that lets us really release and let go of a lot of stuff that we were carrying in our mental body. A lot of stuff that just wasn't necessary. A lot of ways that we were sort of self-inflicted pain, it almost feels like. And just allowing our perspective to shift and open up a little bit. And then like, look at the joy in this card, right? That is absolute joy and elation is what I always feel from this Hierophant card. But it's just like a major stepping stone, just a major point on the journey. And it's really cool because I'm seeing 3 staircases here. There's one in the Hermit card. There's one in the Hierophant card. And there's actually 2 in the Ace of Swords. There's one behind her, and then the spiral itself is a staircase. So really ascending that staircase to the next level, the next rung, if you will, of, if we were talking about like a ladder, I guess, but of our spiritual evolution, which is really, really beautiful, as we always say, right? So that's really leveling up in terms of that, because of that ability of shifting the perspective, shifting the way we're looking at situations, shifting the way that we're viewing things, and the way for some of us, yes, we're also communicating about things. And then the Tower, just to really drive that home, right? That shift, that illumination with this lightning bolt, that illumination and shift in perspective, just a huge, lots of changes that this is going to bring about, but like changes in the most beautiful way. And then the Ace of Wands, which once again with this always makes me think of inspiration, like divine spiritual inspiration. So for some of you guys, yeah, it's just whatever it is that facilitates this breakthrough today, whether it's a conversation, whether it's sitting alone in meditation and contemplation and just receiving that, whether it's some sort of download or some sort of, just something happens and it clicks. I'm hearing it. It's almost like a lock when it clicks into place, or I guess it would be more like when you have a combination lock and you're spinning the combination, and then you hit that final one and you pull it to open it and you hear that click. That's sort of what it feels like. It's like opening up, but then also like clicking into place. I don't know if I'm explaining it correctly, but I think that you guys can pick up on it. And then we have the 10 of Pentacles underneath that, which is that complete fulfillment. So a new level of fulfillment that's possible when we realize, and I think for some people it's as simple as realizing that like we can have happiness in any moment if we choose. It's our choice. And so really understanding that and seeing like, do I want to look at the world as though the glass is half empty or half full, right? How do I want to view? Do I want to look at the cups that I've lost, or do I want to look at the cups that I have? That kind of an energy is what I think a big shift in this was, and understanding just how powerful that is. When we shift our perception, it's like this was a minute little shift that happened, but it changes absolutely everything. And it puts us back into alignment with our hearts, like really coming back into alignment with our hearts today, and understanding and seeing sort of where our own misperceptions created that lack of alignment within ourselves. So I am absolutely loving that energy. And what do I want to close with? I want to close with a Moonology card. Clear. Any final guidance or final messages from the Moonology deck for February 14th? Show the world the real you. Full moon in Aquarius. Your hard work is paying off. New moon in Capricorn. And work through your fears. New moon in Scorpio. So a lot of that, a full moon and 2 new moon energies. So we have that releasing. And this is that energy. And I feel this releasing in the wake of that new moon in Aquarius, right, that we had. This releasing of all of those fears around us being who we truly are. Around showing and speaking our truth. It's like when we were finally able to put those to bed and just show up in the world raw and real and honest, then for some people that's part of what also helped to facilitate that shift. And that's what the shift is allowing, is this ability to show up as who we really are. I feel like a lot of people have been working really hard at this, as showing up in the world authentically, and that hard work is paying off. And we are working through our fears as we go. But it's just that process of continuing to work through those fears and continuing to show up honestly and openly in all areas of our lives. And like that is absolutely going to pay some real dividends, and going to facilitate a whole new cycle of authenticity, a whole new cycle of fulfillment. right? Fulfillment in every sense of the word, emotional, material fulfillment. Yeah. Whatever it is that you guys have been working really hard on, that has been sort of challenging you in some ways and bringing up these fears within you. Just know that work is really paying off. And the more you can show up authentically as who you are, in your truth, in your integrity, in your heart, the more progress you're going to make in that area. And there is climactic energy coming. So if you feel like you've been working really hard at something and really doing all the work, doing the shadow work, doing the inner child work, doing all of this stuff, putting in all of the effort, really working on showing up day after day after day, and nothing is really changing or paying off. You've been bearing your soul. You've been really just adamantly, you feel like you have been giving something your all, and it still feels as though nothing is shifting. That's that shift, that full moon in Aries, that fiery climax. That is that shift that is coming. And then a new start is coming under that. So there is hope. In a situation that seems almost like it's just the noses to the grindstone and nothing is coming through and you're about to give up, it's like this is the light at the end of the tunnel, saying like there's a lot more happening than you can see. And so just keep going, keep moving with it. Yeah, and it will, things are shifting, even if they don't feel like they're shifting. And for some of us, this is our general spiritual growth process right here. And just even though if you don't feel like you're making progress with that, you're making way more progress than you think, is sort of the energy like that. And so it's just surrender to the divine. Surrender the timing, surrender your fears, surrender your stress, and just stay committed to this goal, whatever this goal is, if it's resonating with you. Because it is worthwhile. It is worth pursuing. If it weren't, you wouldn't have put so much effort into it. And so just know that there is a new start coming, and it's don't let your past hold you back. Right? So this is that energy that keeps coming up, of releasing our fears, of not allowing our past to dictate our present. Really releasing all of that old energy. A lot of those fears come from past situations. And so when we hold on to that energy, all we do is the past just repeats itself and again and again and again, because we're stuck in that old energy. So don't let your fears from the past, don't let the way that situations played out in the past dictate how situations play out in the future. It does not have to be a repeat performance. If you've been doing this healing, if you've been doing all of this growing, things can look different if we allow them to. If we release what is ready to be released, and we don't hold on to those old stories, that old energy anymore, we don't allow that to taint our perspective and our vision of what's currently happening in our lives. All right, we're going to call it right there for today. I love you guys. I appreciate you so very, very much. Have a beautiful, beautiful day, however you choose to spend it. If you choose to spend it loving on yourself, that is absolutely beautiful and absolutely perfect. I honor each and every single one of you. I love you from the bottom of my heart. And you guys know the spiel with all of the links below and all of that. I'm not going to repeat it all today, but just know that my absolute adoration and appreciation for each one of you. I hope that that's felt today. I love you all very, very much, and I will talk to you soon.